Up until now, you've probably assumed that you can run totally different code on different threads. And certainly if you were using a multi-core CPU, this would be the case. Unfortunately, on the GPU, this isn't the case. And a nasty effect called branch divergence basically has the potential to ruin your aspirations for moving your computations to the GPU. So let's talk about branch divergence. This requires us to delve once again into the processes in which CUDA schedules threads on the multiprocessors. So once a thread block is assigned to a multiprocessor, it is further split into several so-called warps, which are just another way of grouping threads. Now, the specific thing about these warps is that all threads within a warp must execute the same instruction at the same time. And this is extremely problematic for us because, for example, we might have if and else branches of an if statement. And this mechanism basically tells us that the if and else branches cannot be executed concurrently. So let's take a look at an illustration. Basically, I have some process executing. It's got a couple of threads, each doing roughly the same thing. And then I hit a branch. And after I hit a branch, what would happen is the threads in the if case would execute, and then the threads in the else case would execute. And then we continue executing. And this results in somewhat obvious performance loss. In this case, you double the amount of time required to do this thing inside the branch. And this isn't a good thing. Unfortunately, there isn't much that we can do about it. The most obvious is to simply avoid branching if possible. And of course, this isn't always realistic. So if you do need to have branches, you can try ensuring that if statements or indeed any kind of branching structures generally get cut on warp boundaries. Essentially, you can find out from CUDA what the warp size is and then put in conditional statements so that the if cases would fall on one side of the warp, shall we say, and the else cases would fall on the other side.